From lost cities buried for centuries to mysterious artifacts that defy explanation, archaeology has uncovered secrets that rewrite history. Today, we're counting down the 30 most mind-blowing archaeological finds ever discovered. Workers in Basel were just trying to build a boathouse when their shovels hit stone, ancient stone. As archaeologists rushed in, they uncovered something incredible: the last amphitheater ever built by the Roman Empire. This wasn't just any arena. Fine plaster still clung to the walls, and the ghostly imprints of wooden grandstands remained. Experts say it was constructed in the 4th century AD, just decades before Rome's collapse. Was this the empire's final attempt to hold on to its glory, or a desperate last stand against the barbarians closing in? Even more chilling, the south gate still stands intact, as if waiting for one last crowd to enter. What spectacles played out here before the lights went out on Rome forever? In the ruins of Hatra, a city destroyed by ISIS, restorers made a spine-tingling discovery: carvings of a camel that shouldn't exist. This wasn't a Bactrian or dromedary. It was something in between. Its face was wrong. Its fur was wrong. Had ancient breeders created a hybrid species lost to time? The carvings date to 168 AD, commissioned by King Sanatrukfon himself. But here's the twist: they were hidden in a temple to the goddess Alat. Was this creature her sacred symbol, a genetic experiment, or evidence of a species we still haven't found? Cut into a mountainside, over 4,000 tombs stare emptily across Sicily. This is Pantalica, a necropolis so vast it became a UNESCO site. But the real mystery: every single tomb was robbed centuries ago, not by modern looters, but by ancient grave robbers. Why? Some say treasure hunters came searching for a rumored Mycenaean palace hidden atop the hill. Others whisper of a dark ritual that required disturbing the dead. The most unsettling part: no bones remain, not a single skeleton. Where did 600 years of the dead go? Beneath Naples' bustling streets lies a secret underworld of the ultra-rich. These aren't graves, they're palaces for the dead, carved from soft volcanic rock. When archaeologists first entered, they gasped. Walls covered in rare Greek art, grand staircases, and even elaborate streets connecting the tombs. This was a necropolis designed like a city, where the elite partied even in death. Now, after 2,300 years, you can finally walk these haunted halls. But beware. Locals say some residents never left. At first glance, it's undeniable. A woman holding a slim, open object, just like a laptop. Even the USB ports are there, though they're actually drill holes. Found on a marble grave marker from 100 BC, this artifact has sparked wild theories. Time travelers? Probably not. A prophetic vision? Unlikely. A hinged mirror or jewelry box? Boring but plausible. But here's what chills historians. No other artifact like this exists. Was it a one-off mistake? Or evidence of technology we've forgotten? Beneath an English field lay Britain's most bizarre Roman mosaic. A sprawling artwork of Greek myths with one terrifying addition. Between images of heroes and horses, 4 words gleam: I want to live. Was this a dying man's last wish? A spell to cheat death? Or something far darker? The villa's owner remains unknown, but one thing's clear: nobody writes that on their floor unless they're really afraid of what comes next. When renovators lifted the floorboards of Château de Piquant-Blanc in 2018, they uncovered a 140-year-old secret too horrifying to ignore. The diary of carpenter Joachim Martin, scrawled on the underside of the very floor he installed. Page after page reveals a small town's darkest secrets. Benjamin B., a respected man who drowned his 4 illegitimate children to hide his affair. A priest who used confession to manipulate women into sexual acts. And worst of all, Joachim's helplessness as the crimes continued, fearing retaliation if he spoke out. The most chilling entry: I helped build Benjamin's house today. As I nailed the floor, I wondered if he'd kill again beneath it. Historians confirm the murders really happened, but no one was ever punished. Joachim took the truth to his grave, literally underfoot. When satellite images revealed perfect geometric shapes beneath Antarctica's ice in 2017, scientists were stunned. These weren't natural formations, they were structures, The discoveries include a 400-foot oval monolith with precise 90-degree angles, what appears to be a pyramid larger than Egypt's Great Pyramid, straight walls stretching over 150 meters. The possibilities are terrifying. A lost prehistoric civilization frozen during the last ice age. Nazi secret bases from W22. Declassified maps show they explored Antarctica. Or something even the government won't admit exists. Here's what we know. The ice here is 34 million years old. If these are man-made, they predate human civilization itself. In 1973, a North Carolina landowner sifting through soil unearthed a sleek, wedge-shaped stone, too massive for an arrowhead, yet honed with unnatural symmetry. Recent analyses stunned experts. It was an adze, a woodworking tool dating back 3,000–5,000 years, likely used to hollow out canoes or shape weapons. But this discovery defies logic. No other artifacts from its era exist nearby. No workshop debris, no settlements, not even a stray flake of stone from its creation. Was it lost by a wandering craftsman, or something darker? Some scholars whisper of ritual deposits, tools buried as offerings to spirits of the forest. Others suggest it was deliberately hidden, perhaps by a fleeing artisan. The stone's pristine edge shows no wear, as if it was never used, or was placed with purpose. The land yields no further clues, leaving this solitary relic to guard its secrets in silence. In 2013, a Scottish farmer's plough struck something unyielding, a 6-foot slab carved with eerie, interlaced symbols. Some matched classic Pictish motifs, eagles, serpents, and the infamous Z-rod, but the arrangement was utterly alien. The Picts, a warrior culture that defied Rome, left behind fewer than 300 such stones. This one breaks all patterns, or proof of a lost Pictish sect. The stone symbols include a double disc never before seen, suggesting either a regional variant or a hoax. Yet the carvings bear ancient tool marks, and the stone itself was buried beneath medieval layers. The Romans called these people Picti, painted ones, but their true name, language, and fate vanished with them. This stone could rewrite history, if only we could decipher its code. When auctioneers x-rayed a 14th century wooden Buddha, they found a 371 banknote he'd tucked inside, a great Ming treasure note worth 1,000 copper coins, stamped with a chilling warning: counterfeiters will be executed. But why hide cash in a sacred icon? A merchant's emergency fund? Or a spiritual bribe? Paper money was revolutionary in Ming China, but inflation soon rendered such notes worthless. Yet this one was preserved like a relic. Some believe it was a posthumous offering, wealth sent with the dead for the afterlife. Others suspect a smuggler's trick, using piety to mask greed. The statue's serene smile gives no answers. For 300 years, China's Liangju culture carved jade tubes with square shells and circular cores, etched with ghostly faces. These were buried exclusively with the elite, implying cosmic significance. Yet around 2300 BCE, production ceased, abruptly. No gradual decline, just silence. Did invaders sack Liangju, or did a new religion forbid the old ways? The Kong's purpose remains debated. Earthly power symbols, astronomical tools. Some suggest they were spirit passports, guiding souls to the heavens. When the culture collapsed, the knowledge died with its priests. The last Kong ever made may still lie undiscovered, waiting in a tomb sealed by time. In 2017, archaeologists excavating a Roman villa in Spain found a wooden arca, a safe lined with iron spikes armed to impale thieves. Buried under volcanic ash, its charred remains held fast for the 1,800 years. Only 4 such safes survive. What was worth protecting? Gold? A senator's will? Love letters? The spikes suggest lethal stakes, literal dead man's switches. Yet the fire that preserved the safe also vaporized its contents, leaving only a hollow riddle. Was this the vault of a betrayed official, or a merchant's doomed fortune? The spikes still gleam as if warning, some secrets aren't meant to be found. For 200 years, a battered stone head sat ignored in an English garden until lasers revealed its true face. Emperor Trajan, ruler of Rome at its peak. The head is twice life-size, hinting at a 40-foot statue, Britain's largest Roman monument. But how did it end up face down in the dirt? Shipwrecked during transport, or toppled by Boudicca's rebels? The stone is weathered by salt water, suggesting centuries submerged. Was this a lost triumphal monument? A god king's effigy? Trajan conquered Dacia, modern Romania, flooding Rome with gold. Yet his British colossus was erased so completely, even history forgot. In 2020, near Jerusalem, archaeologists uncovered a royal palace, not ruined, but deliberately entombed under layers of earth. Its ornate column capitals match those of biblical kings, yet no inscriptions survive. The palace was sealed around 586 BCE when Babylon burned Jerusalem. Was it buried to hide it from invaders, or cursed? Strange marks suggest a hasty abandonment, food still in jars, doors left ajar. Some theorize it belonged to King Jehoiakim, a tyrant whose corpse was dragged and cast out, Jeremiah 22:19. But with no name, no loot, and no bodies, the palace is a ghost in stone, daring us to ask, why did someone want this place forgotten? Discovered in a shipwreck off the coast of Turkey, this wooden device from the 9th century resembles a modern-day tablet. 5 rectangular panels, each coated in beeswax, could slide in and out of a frame, while tiny lead weights rested in carved niches. Greek letters and symbols were etched into the wax, now long since faded. Some believe it was a merchant's portable ledger, tracking transactions in gold or goods. Others argue it was a ship captain's log, recording routes and cargo. The most intriguing theory suggests it was an early scientific instrument, perhaps a balance scale or a primitive calculator. Yet no other artifact like it has ever been found. The wax has melted away, taking its secrets with it. This small but chilling figurine, cast in bronze, depicts a snarling wolf with a human figure halfway down its throat, legs still kicking, torso disappearing into the beast's maw. Dating to the height of the Roman Empire, its origin is fiercely debated. The Romans revered wolves, believing the she-wolf had suckled Romulus and Remus. But the Celts feared a wolf-like deity associated with death and the underworld. The figurine's craftsmanship suggests Roman work, yet its brutal imagery aligns more with Celtic mythology. No inscriptions or similar artifacts provide clarity. It remains a silent, monstrous relic of a forgotten cult. Unearthed near Jerusalem's Temple Mount, a small clay seal bears the Hebrew name Yeshaya, Isaiah, alongside the word NVY. Biblical scholars immediately wondered, could this be the personal seal of Isaiah, the prophet who counseled King Hezekiah? The problem, NVCI could mean prophet, or it could simply be part of a surname. Isaiah was a common name in ancient Judah, and without further context, the seal cannot be definitively linked to the biblical figure. It remains a tantalizing maybe, a whisper from the past that refuses to confirm or deny its own legend. 2 copper coins from China's Northern Song dynasty, 10th–14th century, were found buried in English soil, far from their homeland. Historians dismiss them as later collectors' losses, but the fact that 2 turned up in separate locations raises questions. Marco Polo wouldn't reach China until the 13th century, yet these coins suggest an earlier, undocumented exchange. Perhaps they traveled through Viking trade networks, passed from Russ merchants to Norse traders. Or maybe they were carried by a lone traveler whose journey history forgot. Either way, they hint at a world more connected than records show. The stele of Montoro, found in a Spanish farmer's field, is covered in symbols that resemble Greek, Phoenician, and early Iberian scripts, yet it matches no known language. The carvings include looping spirals, crescent moons, and stick figure animals, arranged in no discernible pattern. Some believe it was an experiment in writing, a lone artisan's attempt to blend alphabets. Others argue it represents a lost dialect, spoken by a culture that left no other trace. Without a Rosetta Stone equivalent, the slab's message may never be decoded. In France, archaeologists uncovered a 40-foot wooden ship from 700 CE, so fragile that it disintegrates when exposed to air. To preserve it, they must spray it with water every 30 minutes. Its advanced construction suggests a vessel built for long voyages, possibly linking Frankish traders to distant ports. But time is running out. Until a method is found to stabilize the wood, the ship cannot be fully studied. Each passing day erases another clue, leaving historians to wonder, was this the prototype of a forgotten naval revolution? In 1810, workers quarrying limestone in the Caribbean uncovered a human skeleton encased in solid Miocene rock, a layer formed millions of years before humans existed. Dubbed Guadalupe woman, the skeleton sparked wild theories, from biblical flood survivors to time-warped corpses. Geologists argue it must be a fluke, perhaps a recent burial that seeped into ancient rock. Yet no convincing explanation accounts for how a fully intact skeleton could infiltrate such dense stone. The bones remain an unsolved paradox, defying both science and legend. Beneath the waves off Syria's coast lies one of the most significant underwater discoveries of our time, an entire Roman port city frozen in time. Marine archaeologists were stunned to uncover not just scattered ruins, but a fully intact maritime complex that once thrived as a bustling trade hub. The site features massive hydraulic structures that controlled water flow, 4 towering marble columns that likely supported an impressive waterfront building, and the remains of what appears to be a lighthouse that guided ships into harbor. What makes this discovery truly extraordinary is evidence suggesting the Romans built their port directly atop an even older Phoenician settlement. Diving teams have recovered pottery fragments and architectural elements that predate Roman occupation by centuries. This layered history reveals how successive civilizations recognized the strategic importance of this location. The port's advanced engineering, including sophisticated wave breakers and docking systems, suggests it may have been far more crucial to Mediterranean trade networks than previously believed. The real mystery lies in why such an important port was abandoned to the sea. Was it gradual sea level rise, a catastrophic tsunami, or something more sinister that caused this thriving hub to vanish beneath the waves? The answers may rewrite our understanding of ancient maritime history. On the island of Naxos lies one of archaeology's most perplexing mysteries, a colossal marble statue of Dionysus frozen in time, abandoned mid-creation. This 35-foot behemoth weighs an astonishing 88 tons, its unfinished form revealing the ancient sculpting process like no other artifact. The statue's massive scale suggests it was meant to be a centerpiece of religious worship, possibly for a temple that was never built. Archaeologists have pieced together the likely story. Ancient workers began carving the statue directly from a marble outcrop, following the common practice of shaping monuments in situ before transport. But when they realized the finished product would be impossible to move without breaking, the island's terrain being too rough and their technology insufficient for such weight, they simply walked away. Yet questions remain. Tools were left scattered around the site as if work ceased suddenly. Some researchers speculate political upheaval or religious changes halted the project. Others note the quarry shows signs of being used for centuries after. Why didn't anyone complete this masterpiece? The abandoned giant stands as both a testament to ancient ambition and a humbling reminder of their limitations. In the quiet village of Oil Dakwa stands one of India's most enigmatic temples, dominated by a massive stone frog statue that locals believe holds mystical powers. The official history claims it was built just 200 years ago by Raja Bakht Singh, but architectural elements tell a different story. The temple's 7-tiered tower rises over 100 feet in a style that echoes much older traditions. and the masonry shows signs of multiple construction phases spanning centuries, if not millennia. Inside the sanctum lies another mystery, a unique standing statue of Nandi bull, unlike any other in India. Normally Nandi is depicted seated before Shiva, but here it stands alert, as if guarding something. The frog itself bears an intricate yantra, mystical diagram, on its back, associated with tantric practices rarely seen in mainstream Hinduism. Local legends speak of the temple being rediscovered rather than built, with the frog acting as a guardian to something buried beneath. Recent geological surveys have detected hollow spaces under the foundation, fueling speculation about hidden chambers. Whether ancient fertility site, tantric power center, or something more esoteric, this temple challenges conventional understandings of India's religious history. What appeared to be a lump of corroded metal in a German grave turned out to be one of the most spectacular Roman weapons ever discovered. After 9 months of meticulous restoration, conservators revealed an ornate dagger so finely crafted, it must have belonged to a high-ranking officer. The blade and its silver inlaid sheath feature intricate designs, showing military victories, while the handle displays rare ivory carvings. The discovery site near Halton am See was a key Roman military base during their doomed campaign to conquer Germania. Forensic analysis shows the dagger was deliberately buried with its owner rather than lost in battle. More intriguingly, the blade shows signs of being used in close-quarters combat shortly before burial. Historians now believe this may have been the weapon of a Roman officer killed during the infamous Battle of the Teutoburg Forest, where Germanic tribes annihilated 3 legions. Was this dagger buried with a fallen commander as his troops retreated? Or could it have been a ceremonial offering by victorious Germans? Its unparalleled craftsmanship suggests it tells a story far more significant than a simple soldier's burial. In Israel's Golan Heights stands Rujem el-Hiri, a massive stone monument that defies explanation. This enormous structure consists of 5 concentric circles built from over 100,000 basalt rocks, with walls reaching 8 feet high and spanning nearly 500 feet across. At its center lies a mysterious cairn that some believe was once a tomb, though no human remains have been found. The precision of the construction is astounding for its presumed age, estimated at 5,000 years old based on pottery fragments found nearby. The alignment of certain walls with solstice sunrises suggests astronomical knowledge, leading some to call it Israel's Stonehenge. Yet unlike other ancient observatories, Rujem el-Hiri's complex geometry serves no obvious calendrical purpose. Alternative theories abound. Was it a ritual center for an unknown cult? A symbolic gateway between worlds? The site's Hebrew name translates to Wheel of Spirits, and local folklore claims it's connected to the biblical giant Og of Bashan. What's certain is that the civilization capable of such sophisticated stonework left no other traces in the region, making this their sole enigmatic legacy. The true purpose of this star-shaped puzzle may remain locked in the ancient past forever. Off England's coast, divers found the oldest wooden structure ever discovered, a sophisticated platform made 3,000 years before Stonehenge. This wasn't just some logs tied together. Precisely split timbers interlocked like modern engineering tool marks, showing advanced woodworking. Evidence of large-scale maritime activity. The implications rewrite history. Britain was connected to Europe at the time, Doggerland. Stone Age people had complex societies. Why did they build this? And where did they vanish to? One theory suggests rising seas drowned their world, forcing survivors to become Europe's first migrants. Their legacy? Perhaps the very DNA of modern nations. If you love this journey through time, smash that like button. Woo. Subscribe for more ancient mysteries and hit the bell so you never miss an upload.